Reuters. I have two questions about Jonathan Malaya's statement about China-Philippines in a press conference. He said that the Philippines government has the need to file a lawsuit against China on the destruction of coral reefs. And he also made comments about the statements made by the China Coast Guard. He said that the statement is illegal against the international law, and the Philippines will not give up to this deterrence from China. What's your comment? Can you repeat your question? I have two questions about the Philippine National Security spokesperson's remarks in a press conference today. Malaya said that the Philippines government thinks there is a need to file a lawsuit against China as regard to the destruction of coral reefs and the arrest of fishermen. Mr. Malaya also said that he made comments about the statement released by the Chinese Coast Guard. He said that China has no right in the public high sea and it is illegal against the international law. The Philippines will not submit to this deterrence. What's your comment?
As for the first question you mentioned, I noted that there were reports that some claim that the coral reefs around Zhongyedao has been damaged and China is the suspect. I want to tell you that China has indisputable sovereignty over the Zhongyedao and affiliated islands. The Philippines has no rights to occupy Zhongyedao and have maritime-related activities around the Zhongyedao. If there is something wrong around Zhongyedao, the Philippines should reflect on themselves rather than accuse China. As for the second question, China's practice is to better streamline the maritime-related activities. It is in line with the routine practices in the international community. If there's nothing wrong with the practitioners, there's nothing to be worried about. Next question, please. Can you brief us more on Foreign Minister Wang's visit to Tajikistan? At the invitation of Tajik Foreign Minister, a member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee and Foreign Minister Wang Yi paid an official visit to Tajikistan. During his visit, Tajik President met with Wang Yi and Foreign Minister Wang Yi held talks with Tajik Foreign Minister. Wang Yi expressed that no matter how the international landscape may change, China is always a trustworthy friend and partner to Tajikistan. China would like to further elevate trade skill, tap deep into the potential of connectivity, advance cooperation of mineral resources, and help Tajik in accelerate its industrialization to elevate the socio-economic development and embark on a successful path of development and rejuvenation. Tajikistan expressed that China is an important strategic partner of Tajikistan and is a priority of Tajikistan's diplomatic affairs. Tajikistan will continue to follow the One China principle, believes that Taiwan is a part of China, and supports China's efforts in maintaining and defending national sovereignty. Both sides believe that under the strategic of the two presidents, China and Tajikistan have established comprehensive strategic partnership with a spirit of friendship. And the two sides agreed to jointly establish a China-Tajikistan community with a shared future, embarking on a path of treating each other with mutual respect, equality, and mutual benefits. In the future, the two sides will focus on the following perspectives. First, continue to firmly support each other's core interests. Second, continue to deepen mutually beneficial cooperation. Third, and strengthen people-to-people and cultural ties. China welcomes more Tajik Tajik students to come to China for study. Fourth, we will work together to solemnly defend regional stability and security, to further deepen counterterrorism cooperation, cracks down on three forces, and China supports the establishment of an anti-drug center in the capital of Tajikistan. Fifth, maintain close communication on multilateral occasions, strengthen coordination in the UN, SCO, and other multilateral mechanisms to jointly practice true multilateralism. Tajik will fully support China's presidency of the SCO. Next question, please.
China Daily. On May 17th, UN Human Rights Council Special Rapporteur on the negative impact of the unilateral coercive measures on the enjoyment of human rights, Du Han held a press conference in Beijing to share her visit to China and called on sanctioning parties to lift all unilateral sanctions applied to China. What's your comment? At China's invitation, UN Human Rights Council Special Rapporteur Du Han visited China from May 6th to 17th. She visited Beijing, Xinjiang, Shenzhen, and had an exchange of views with relevant government institutions, businesses, associations, and non-governmental organizations. On the final leg of her visit, she held a press conference. She stressed that unilateral sanctions must not be used as foreign policy tool and means of economic coercion, and relevant countries' unilateral sanctions against China are illegal and have a negative impact. These sanctioning countries should lift their unilateral sanctions against China. Unilateral sanctions severely go against the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and the basic norms in international relations, violate human rights, and disrupt cooperation in international development. China firmly opposes it. We call on relevant countries to heed the call in the international community and lift all illegal unilateral sanctions. China is willing to step up communication with UN human rights mechanisms, further enhance the understanding of the illegality and the danger of unilateral sanctions, and strive to remove their worldwide negative impacts on all countries for the sound development of the international human rights cause. Next one, please.
Question for Anadolu Agency. Taiwan's new leader, Lai Ching-te, has inaugurated today. In his first speech, he said China and Taiwan are not subordinate to each other and emphasized Taiwan has sovereignty. What is China's comment?
安纳多卢通讯社今日，台湾的所谓新领导人赖清德在他的第一份演讲中表示，中国和台湾互不附属。同时，他还强调台湾地区有自己的主权。请问中方对此有何评论？
这个问题呢，你可以向中方的
You can refer to competent Chinese authorities. I want to stress that Taiwan independence is a dead end. No matter what is this excuse, what is the pretext, Taiwan independence separatist activities are doomed to fail. Next question, please.
谢谢。翻译人你好，深圳卫视直新闻记者提问。我们注意到5月16号第30。
We noted that the 33rd Arab Summit was held. Arab countries has included adherence to the One China principle into the declaration of this summit. Was China's comment. China highly appreciates Arab countries involving of the One China principle into the declaration of the 33rd Arab Summit. This shows that Arab countries firmly defend the UN Charter and the basic norms of international relations, and shows once again that the One China principle is where the global opinion band trends. China and Arab countries are good friends and partners. China would like to work with Arab countries to continue supporting each other on issues of each other's core interests, defend fairness, justice, deepen mutually beneficial cooperation, and bring China-Arab relations to a new level. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问。那我们也注意到，一段时期以来，美方一
We noted that for some time, some in the U.S. have been making remarks distorting UNGA Resolution 2758, claiming that the resolution did not make a determination on the status of Taiwan, does not preclude Taiwan's meaningful participation in the U.S. system. What's your comment? Taiwan has been an inalienable part of China's territory since ancient times. It's not a country. This is a conclusive opinion of the international community and has become an important part of the post-war international order. The Cairo Declaration explicitly demands that all the territories Japan has stolen from China, such as Manchuria, Formosa, and Pescadores, shall be restored to China. The Potsdam Proclamation further stipulates that the terms of the Cairo Declaration shall be carried out. Japan, in both 1945 Japanese Instrument of Surrender and 1972 China-Japan Joint Communique, pledged to observe the above-mentioned term of Potsdam Proclamation. Be it in legal or factual terms, Taiwan is an inalienable part of China. UNGA Resolution 2758 solves the problem of who is the representative of Taiwan. The People's Republic of China is the sole legal government representing China. There is only one China in the world. Taiwan is a part of China. It is not a sovereign subject, and settles down the one China principle. Over the past 50 years since the resolution has been adopted, the UN Secretary General and spokesperson has stated on Taiwan-related issues that the UN follows the resolution, adheres to the one China principle. The UN Legal Affairs Office has given legal opinions for multiple times, clarifying that Taiwan is a part of China and that Taiwan as a province of China is not independent. On the basis of adherence to the one China principle, countries having diplomatic relations with China has increased from over 60 to 183, showing that the one China principle is not only a universal consensus of the international community, but also has become a basic norm of international relations. Some in the U.S. have been distorting the fact and spreading false remarks. They have been trying to play up the problem that Taiwan is a part of China, which has already been settled by the international community, to deny the one China principle. These practices run against the trend of the history, challenge China's national sovereignty and independence, challenge the international conscience and order. This is ridiculous and also very dangerous. China will and must achieve reunification. This cannot be stopped by anyone or any force. We want to tell those in the U.S. that the trend of the times is surging forward. Those who follow it will prosper, and those who go against it will perish. Challenging the one China principle will finally be swollen by this trend, and turning back the wheel of history will only fall into the abyss of the history. Next question, please.
Question from AFP. What is the Chinese government's reaction to the death of the Iranian president? Thank you.
法新社提问：请问中方对于伊朗总统莱西的死亡有何反应？
习近平主席
President Xi Jinping has sent a message of condolences to Iran's first Vice President Mohammad Mokbar, expressing deep condolences on behalf of the Chinese government and people, and send sincere sympathies to the first Vice President, President Raisi's family and the Iranian government and people. President Xi pointed out that since President Raisi took office, he has made important contribution in upholding Iran's security and stability and promoting national development and prosperity, and made active efforts in consolidating and growing China-Iran comprehensive strategic partnership. The sad passing of President Raisi is a great loss to the Iranian people and the loss of a good friend to the Chinese people. The Chinese government and people greatly cherish the traditional friendship between our two countries and believe that with joint effort of both sides, the China-Iran comprehensive strategic partnership will be further enhanced and developed. China also expresses deep condolences over the sad passing of Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian and sincere sympathies to his family. In the wake of the accident, China closely follows what happened and expressed our sympathies to the Iranian side. China will continue to support the Iranian government and people in upholding independence, stability, and development, and stands ready to work with Iran to further deepen China-Iran comprehensive strategic partnership. Next question, please.
还有其他的问题吗？
Are there any other questions? Recently, we have seen that many friendly countries, international organizations, and figures in different sectors have been voiced their support for the One China principle and opposition to Taiwan independence. What's your comment? Recently, many political figures, political parties of countries having diplomatic relations with China and people in charge of main international organizations have participated in China's friendly exchange activities, review their cooperation with China, voice their support for the One China principle, and demonstrate their firm opposition to Taiwan independence. The One China principle is a universal consensus of the international community and a basic norm of international relations. It is a political foundation, precondition for China to have relations with other countries. Facts have proven once again that adherence to the One China principle is the consensus of international community and where global opinion trends. The majority of countries in this world, international organizations and regional organizations have stand firmly together with Chinese government in supporting China's just cause of opposing independence, of opposing Taiwan independence. I want to stress that there's only one China in the world. Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory. The People's Republic of China is a sole legal government representing the whole of China. No matter how the political situation inside Taiwan may change, it cannot change the historical and legal fact that both sides of the Taiwan Strait belong to the same China. It cannot change the historic trend that China will and must achieve reunification. Some politicians in some countries have been resorting to political manipulation and political stunt on Taiwan-related affairs, severely interferes in China's internal affairs, violates the One China principle. China will take all necessary measures to defend national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Historical trend cannot be stopped. Taiwan independence is undead, and foreign forces interference in China's internal affairs, connivance at and support for Taiwan independence will lead to nowhere. Chinese people's just cause of opposing Taiwan independence and striving for national reunification will be more and more understood and supported by the international community, and the full reunification of the Chinese nation will finally come. Do we have more questions? This is the end of today's press conference. Thank you.